So again, back to my Insert tab, and you can see there's an option with a little Polaroid photo that says picture, and it will pull me up to my files. I can just find whatever images that I want to insert and select open. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and resize this, make it a little bit smaller. Center it there. Okay, and you can see our Format tab is active, but this has a slightly different Format tab because you're editing the image rather than a shape. So you have all of these kind of photograph treatment options where you can just select and you'll automatically have a border and a shadow, again, just like PowerPoint. Or you can create custom effects. So I'm going to go back to my normal one. And you can create maybe, let's say we want a reflection here. So you see there's 3 columns. These are the shorter reflections, longer and longest. And then each of the rows, this has the reflection that's very close to the object, that's kind of a little bit offset, and then the one that's very far away. And in the shadows, again, we have similar lots of options as well. These are all outer shadows, inner shadows, and perspective shadows. So let's say we just want to drop a little outer shadow there on it, and a little border. Okay, and just as we could change the shape of our shapes that we actually created, we can change the shapes of our images if you wanted, which is pretty handy. You can just select that, and now you have kind of a cool looking photograph, which is a nice effect. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and make this a little bit smaller and insert another image. Let's go with this one here. Resize it, and I can just easily apply all of these same treatments to this one by using my Format Painter. So your Format Painter is actually not on the Format tab, it's on your Home tab. So I'm just going to go ahead and click that once when I have the image I want to sample selected, and then just click on that, and there you go, everything's the same.
Yeah, this is magic.
Just get back to my Format tab. Let's say I don't like that.
Hi, just a quick interjection. Sorry to interrupt. Also, just to let the group know, if you have any questions as we're going along, or would like to have us, change the pacing a little bit, just feel free to type a little note in the chat session here. And also, the images that Chelsea is showing here, these are actually 3D models. These look photorealistic, but these are actually 3D models of environments that are that we've created. And so if you have any questions about how to get these kinds of scenes and setups and so on for your e-learning, just give us a call. We'll be happy to talk with you about that. So again, if you have any questions or comments, just put a little chat session in here, and we'll do that. And we have about 20 minutes left to go in the initial 1-hour session here. Chelsea, were you going to stick around a little bit after to cover a few more extra topics for those who can stay, or what are we looking at in time?
Yeah, we can see if anyone has any questions, and if there's anything that we didn't get to cover that I think might be important, and also probably depends on everyone else's schedule. So. Okay,
sure. So we'll let you go ahead and get back to it. Thank you.
Okay, great. Thank you. All right. So I think I was about to say that if you want to remove the formatting, you can go ahead over here and just click Reset Picture, and it'll go back to the original. And the few other different format options for images are over here, where you have brightness, contrast, and recolor. It's kind of like a very mini Photoshop here. So you can kind of put a tint or a hue if you want to change it black or white, or put a color variation on any of these. It doesn't quite look good on this exact one, but there are times where we use this, and you can actually you can adjust these colors as well by choosing more variations. So you can choose a much more subtle color. As for our contrast, this just boosts up or down the contrast based on which one you select here. I'm going to reset this here, and then we can adjust our brightness up or down. Okay. So over here on our right, there's a few more options I want to point out. One is this little magnifying glass icon that says Zoom Picture. So if I go ahead and just click that while I have this selected, you'll see that icon appear down here. Now what this does is it actually magnifies your image when you're in preview mode. So it's not necessarily applicable to this photo, but it's really useful if you have an image of a document maybe that you want to show on screen, and it's too large to be able to see the text. But if you add the zoom picture feature, then you could just click on that, and then it zooms into a particular part so your user can actually read what's on that document. So I'll actually demonstrate that for you. I'm going to preview this slide. Okay, so you can see the little icon, and then if you click on it, it gets really large there. Now we didn't really format that or size it correctly, but you could ultimately get it to take up the whole screen. It depends on how large your image was when you imported it. So if you have a low resolution, smaller photo to start with, this feature isn't really going to work for you. It's still going to look blurry. But if the point is that you don't want the whole page to cover, maybe you want to have some text on the left and the image on the right, but still want them to be able to zoom in there, it's a really great tool for that. Okay. So I showed you how to do the format painter if you want to apply the same effect to the images. Also, if you wanted to, if you had several images on one screen, before applying the effect, you could just hold them all down at once and apply it, and it would go to all of those there, you see. And then I think the last item we haven't covered is just cropping. So if I have this selected, I'm going to undo my zoom here and take off my reflection. So I choose no reflection. We can go ahead and crop this photo. I just select crop, and you can see that there's these little bounding boxes that have appeared on the outside. So you can either drag in from the side, drag in from the top, or you can drag in from the corner to do both at the same time. Okay, there we go. And if you cropped maybe too much, you can always go back, select it again, and pull it right back out. It is reversible. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and move on to getting into our timeline and animation a little bit further. Are there any questions on inserting text, shapes, or graphics before we move on? Doesn't look like it.
So Chelsea, there was a question. I posted an answer to it in the chat box here. The question was, can you add to the graphics? Just for those of you who might not have seen the chat, the question was, can you add the storyline characters into some of the other photos and environments? Yep. And so the answer to that is yes, you can.
I can show you real quick where the storyline characters are. So again, it's just like inserting an image or shape. You would just select this little character right here. And there's illustrated or photographic. And here you have a ton of illustrated characters that already come with storyline. And you choose one of them here. I'll choose this guy. And then you can choose a side or front facing. And then you go on to expression if you want him smiling or disappointed. And then you can choose a pose from there. So there's lots of different options. It just depends if you like the style of the characters, because they all do have this same similar style, but there are a lot of poses and expression options if you choose to use one of these.